Welcome, everybody. Michael LaFido. Welcome to our live stream here. We are streaming live on multiple channels today, and we're going to be having a special guest. You are listening to another episode of the Luxury Listing Specialist podcast. I'm your host, Michael LaFido. You're in the right place. If you're an agent, you're a team leader, you're a broker owner, whether you're with a big time franchise or an independent, there's going to be something for everybody. This is our 202nd podcast, 202nd. So we've had guests from all brokerages and from various countries, and we're always looking for additional guests. So if you know of somebody that you think has a great story and it needs to be told and could inspire others, by all means, please let us know. Before I introduce today's guest, just a couple reminders. Again, you can go to luxurylistingpodcast.com, luxurylistingpodcast.com to listen to other episodes. And again, each Friday we do a live stream where you can ask me anything, all things real estate related. We bring on special guests, and you can just go to luxuryfridays.com, or you could just subscribe to our YouTube channel where we stream it. Again, luxuryfridays.com. And again, if you go to luxurylistingspecialist.com, you can find out more information about our LUXE designation. Yesterday, I just received a call from an agent who had gone through my course 2.5 years previously. She's a RE/MAX agent, and she said that course changed her career. She learned how to delegate more and increase her average sale price. And so again, that's our goal. We're going to be doing our next training, our in-person designation training on September 21st in Milwaukee. September 21st in Milwaukee. For more information there, you can go to luxurydesignation.com, luxurydesignation.com. All right. So before I bring on today's guest, again, with our podcast, we like to bring on various guests, luxury agents, of course, luxury brokers, brokerages, as well as strategic providers. And in this case, we're bringing on a guest that runs a very successful brokerage in South Florida, and they recently launched their luxury division. They didn't have a dedicated luxury division, so they recently launched their luxury designation, and they had our course, our luxury specialist designation course as a requirement. So we took through a lot of their agents. But this gentleman also wears multiple hats besides running a brokerage. He's also the owner of the CDPE, Certified Distressed Property Expert designation. And in many markets, things are cooling, they're slowing down a little bit. So we're going to talk to Tony about what does he foresee with short sales and foreclosures, and how can agents be ahead of the game, and what can they do to differentiate themselves if that becomes an issue in your given market where there are short sales. So without further ado, I'm going to bring our guest on, Tony Martinez. Tony, are you there?
I'm here, Michael. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you fine. Thank you so much for being on today.
Oh, my pleasure. It's an honor. I've been looking forward to this.
Well, I'm looking forward to it as well. And again, for those of you that are listening to our podcast, you can always shoot me an email afterwards, and I'll connect you with Tony if you have any questions that I can't answer. But for those of you that are watching the podcast and live stream, you can type in your questions in the comment section, and we'll be sure to ask Tony, or I'll maybe the questions are directed towards me, and we'll answer those as well. So first off, Tony, how long have you been in real estate? Tell everybody a little bit about your.
I've been in real estate since we did contracts on stone tablets, my friend. So it's been a while.
Been a while.
Now, I've had my brokerage now for a little over 9 years.
Okay.
But I have been, prior to that, I've been marketing to real estate agents most of my adult life. I mean, we're going back 30 plus years to my early days in California, putting on seminars and trade shows and marketing photographic marketing materials to agents. So I've been around the industry for a very long time, but wearing the broker hat, it's been now 9 years.
9 years.
Yeah.
And recently you had us come on out. You had a launching of a luxury division. You have a brokerage down there called Xtreme Realty International, correct?
Xtreme International Realty, pretty close. Yeah, it works.
International Realty. There you go. And so you service primarily South Florida.
Yes.
And you have how many agents in your brokerage?
It's
Over
about
200?
250. We have
Yeah.
5 locations and about 250 agents.
Okay, very good.
Thank
So
you.
again, in this podcast, we're going to cover a couple different topics. The first topic we're going to cover is for those agents that are listening to this, maybe they run a small brokerage or a team. Sometimes there's teams within brokerages.
Yes.
There, one of my good friends, she just celebrated a birthday, is Judy Lador. Judy helps
Oh, yeah.
brokers recruit. She speaks at all the REMAX conferences and other big conferences. And Judy believes that one of the unique value propositions that a brokerage, a real estate office, a team, they need is a dedicated luxury division. And so
Yes.
that's why she has me speak at her conferences. And so you thought the same thing. You said,
Mhm.
you know what, we need to differentiate. South Florida is competitive. We need a dedicated luxury division with additional resources and maybe
Mhm.
some branding and support. So tell me a little bit what went into your thought process as to what was needed and why you thought having a dedicated luxury division was important to differentiate your brokerage.
Well, what happens is you could throw a rock in South Florida that's going to land on a real estate agent. And if, it could bounce off a real estate agent and it'll hit a brokerage, right? So, I mean, we're all pretty much doing the same thing. So from day one, we wanted Extreme to stand out, and niche marketing is a critical component. That's why I'm so passionate about distressed properties. But for us, the holy grail had always been the luxury area. We just, everyone on occasion, someone would sell a luxury property, but it wasn't really intentional. And I wanted to become intentional with our branding when it came to the luxury side. And I was in the midst of having so many, balls in the air and everything else. And you reached out to me. You actually reached out to me because of the CDPE. And bless you, you were persistent. And when we got on the phone together, and you started telling me more about your luxury designation, I said, hold on a second. There's more to this call than us as fellow designation owners joining forces. I need you to teach my agents, because if we're going to do this, let's do it right. I didn't want it just to be for show. Hey guys, we have a luxury division. I wanted them to have the specialized training
Mhm.
and access to the resources. And you're the secret sauce, brother. You're the one that brought the secret sauce to the equation. And I was so excited that I think it was almost 30 of my agents went through your class when you held it here in Sunrise, Florida.
Yeah, the Miami Association of Realtors hosted it. We had uh, most of the agents, about half were your agents, and then
Yeah,
the other half were a mixture, non-brand specific, from
right.
anywhere from Compass to Remax to Sotheby's, you name it. And so that was a great event. We had a nice luxury panel there where during
Amazing.
lunchtime, we asked the panel some questions just to get a different perspective. Uh, but you're absolutely right. Looking to differentiate yourself from the competition. When you said you can throw a stone in South Florida and it'll hit a real estate agent or a brokerage. Florida used to be second behind California with the
Uh,
the, the most number of
yeah.
realtors out there. Now they're number one, right? Florida's
Yes.
taken on, uh, you know, they've done a lot of great things the last couple of years. The state of Florida has, and that's why it's so desirable for people all over the country. They're moving there, and so you guys now have the most number of real estate agents out there, realtors, and so everybody knows a real estate agent. So that's what we teach with our courses, with our podcasts, with our all our trainings. I was just at the time of recording this, I was just in Florida last week for over 220 agents out in Granite Bay Country Club in California, just outside of Sacramento. And same thing, everybody knows an agent in Granite
Mhm.
Bay. So what are those agents doing to differentiate themselves? What is your brokerage doing to differentiate themselves? So a luxury division is one of the things that you identified. So
Absolutely.
what's what does a luxury division look like for Extreme International Realty?
Well, first of all, we wanted our agents to, I mean, within a brokerage of 250, we wanted them to stand out, right? So we created a special area in our website for the agents that have gone through your designation. And I clearly stated from the very beginning, the only way that they could be in that area of the website was to complete your course. So that's critical. That's a prerequisite for them to have it. And then the rest of it is mindset. More than anything else, I think, and this is what I really enjoyed so many aspects of your course. But you know that for a lot of people, what stands in their way is themselves, and they just don't envision themselves selling luxury. And they're right? If you are what you believe you are and you
Yeah.
can do.
Yeah.
And so I think for any brokerage out there, and or any individual looking to enter the luxury market, it all starts here.
Yeah.
It all starts that they feel that they're worthy to do it. They may not feel capable initially, right? But for God's sake, at least consider yourself worthy of having access to this. Now, get the training that you need, get the resources that will lead to getting the experience. The training, the resources leads to confidence, that leads to the ability to create transactions, which then leads to the experience, and then it's rinse and repeat. So for anybody else out there, it all starts with getting the training. You got to get that training, and then utilizing the designation, the logo in your marketing to go ahead and differentiate yourself from the competition.
Yeah. So working on mindset, right? I tell agents, grow your knowledge and your confidence will grow. And so what I'm going to do right now, for those of you that are watching the podcast, is I have up on the screen Tony's luxury portion of his website. So you have a dedicated portion of your website to luxury, where they can search properties, they can see exclusive listings, they can search luxury properties by neighborhood, developments, and you can see the luxury designation logo right down there, because you guys are LUXE certified. So I commend you for that.
Thank you.
There are literally big time brokerages, which I won't mention, that don't even have a dedicated luxury division, don't even have on their main website an area where people can look for luxury properties. And people are, the consumer, they're shopping, they're looking, and a way to differentiate yourself is a niche, and in this case, as the luxury division. So extra training, extra support, extra website to be listed on the site, against various collaborations where it's, a couple, LUXE agents that have gone through the course, they can share best practices, they have the same language. So it's 3.5 months since you've launched this. I was at the launch of, you guys had a very nice party and champagne toast. Bring us up to speed. Is there some more adoption? Are agents inquiring a little bit more? Are you seeing some successes? I know it's only been a little over 3 months now.
Yeah, I think timing is so critical. So we entered it just as summertime was coming around, right? And you know what happens to real estate agents in summertime, right? The industry just shuts down. So we haven't been pushing too hard, because we just feel like, okay, take time to be with the family, take time to be with the kids and everything else. But we already know when school starts, and right after school starts, we want to get back into it.
That's awesome.
We feel that this is something that is a process. It is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
They're going to have to immerse themselves in the culture and start the process of associating themselves with individuals that are in a position to list or sell luxury properties. And that's the thing, is that it's so important for people to look at who they surround themselves with. One of my favorite sayings is not necessarily a nice one, but it just hits home. And that is, if you hang around with 4 broke people, chances are you'll be the 5th.
Yeah.
And, and I think that the mindset is fed by the people you surround yourself with. I can just imagine how many agents, it's bad enough that maybe they're a newer agent or just getting established in the business, and their friends don't even take them seriously, right? Their own family doesn't necessarily take them seriously. Then all of a sudden they introduce themselves as a luxury agent. I can just hear the laughter.
Sure.
Or the people looking at them like they just grew a second head. What those agents have to understand is, you got to keep pushing on, because it's almost like misery loves company. And
Yeah.
these folks, they don't want to see you succeed. You know what? They don't want to see you shine. They don't want to see you step outside this comfort zone that you've been in. So expect some resistance. Expect some resistance. And most of that resistance will come from the person in the mirror.
Yeah.
And you got to keep reminding yourself every day, I am worthy. Why not me? I can do this. And then again, keep going back to the resources that you provide through your back office, through your university, so that they can keep feeding that proper information to themselves.
Yeah, some great information there, Tony. I really appreciate it. For those of you that are just tuning in, my name is Mike LaFido. This is the Luxury Listing Specials podcast, our 202nd episode. I'm your host, based in Chicago. I'm the founder of the LUXE Designation. I'm the founder and also the author of the book, Luxury Listing Specials. So if you are getting value from this podcast, please leave us a like if we've earned a 5-star rating on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, or you've wrote our book. Excuse me, you've read our book and purchased our book. Please leave us a review on Amazon. We greatly appreciate it. Again, our blog is called Luxe Redefined. If you go to Luxe, L-U-X-E, redefined.com, you will see a lot of educational videos out there. And Tony, one of the most recent ones I've created, and those of you that are watching can see it on the screen, but one of the most recent ones I created was leveraging other people's properties, OPP. I don't have time to go into that, but it's the Naughty by Nature song. I'm not talking back to the 90s, but leveraging other people's properties until you've had a portfolio of your own. So, for example, Tony, your agents, those agents that have the designation but maybe don't have the luxury listings or buyers yet, they should be working with your top luxury agents that have had successful sales, whether they represent the buyer or the seller.
Mm-hmm.
And with their permission, of course, reposting or showing, hey, Tony from our office just sold this $1.9 million property. Keep us in mind if you know of anybody thinking about buying or selling in Coral Gables or Sunrise or wherever it might be. So leveraging, in this case, other agents' properties within a brokerage until you had your own successes. That's something that we teach.
Yes.
And, your agents, I know we're taught that at the designation training. So great information, Tony. So thank you again for anybody that's listening. Tony just shared with us how they launched the luxury division, how they have a dedicated website, how they incorporated our designation to help catapult that launch. And we're going to shift gears a little bit here now. So we're going to go from luxury to distressed properties. Okay. There are distressed luxury properties as well,
Yes,
but again, a little bit different change here in the podcast. But you are the not the founder, but you've purchased CDPE, Certified Distressed Property Expert designation. I took the course 10 plus years ago when the founder Alex Sherfrin had it. You purchased it, you relaunched it. You just had a live training recently in Colorado. Tell everybody a little bit about what the CDPE is, what it stands for, and then we'll talk about distressed properties here for a few minutes.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, because it is a topic that I'm very passionate about. A lot of times people will equate distressed properties to properties that are low income or even beat up. No, I mean, if you go into your MLS right now, if you go into your courthouse right now, there are multi-million-dollar properties that are in foreclosure. So it applies across the entire economic spectrum. But I was excited to be able to bring the CDPE back. It has shut down. It was no longer available. And at its zenith, we were the #1 designation as far as fastest growing one in real estate history. We reached almost 49,000 members.
Wow.
During our heyday. But now that it's back, we are in the process of training a new generation. We have what I call the OGs, the old guard or original gangsters. I let them pick, that were CDPs back in the day, that have come back and rejoined the membership. And then we have a whole new generation that's entering this market for the first time. Something that's kind of amazing is that a significant percentage of real estate agents out there have never been through a difficult market. They don't understand what the market was like in 2008, 9, 10, and 11. Now, I'm not saying it's going to get that bad or that it could get that bad that quickly, but there are signs. And I think all of us that have at least haven't had our head buried in the sand are seeing a shift in the market. We're seeing some challenges on an economic front. We're seeing, inflation at historic levels. We're going to see the Feds raise the rates again. I think that may be coming up like very, very shortly. So all of these factors, and most importantly, the fact that there are no longer any moratoriums in any of the states against foreclosures and evictions, have accelerated the number of foreclosure filings.
So there are a lot of people during pandemic, they missed their payments, not just rent, but owners missed their mortgage payments. And there was this moratorium that says, you couldn't get foreclosed on during that time. But is that correct?
That is correct. And I think that it caused a lot of people that could make their mortgage payments to not make their mortgage payments, which contributes to a whole other issue in terms of, do they understand that those missed payments are not forgiven? Right. They're just added on to the back of the loan or an additional loan against the property.
Yeah. Good point. So we're going into a shifting market. We've talked about that. You mentioned, inflation, gas prices, all these things. I mean, you can't just keep borrowing, spending as a government. It's going to catch up. People over the last 2 years overpaid for houses, right? Waiving appraisals, waiving inspections. And so at some point the market shifts, right? The market goes up and down, just like the stock market, right? And so there's a term called a correction. Many people think we're due for a correction. Some markets were due for a correction a year ago, maybe. But you are going to start seeing people that can't make their payments anymore, or their house is worth a lot less than what they owe. They owe $800 and the house is worth $550. Well, why am I continuing to pay this thing off? And so some people walk away. Some people stop making payments. And so when they miss, tell us a little bit about I'll let you tell the definition of a short sale. So when they miss how many payments in a row, what do we call that? That's a short, that's a lis pendens perhaps, or a pre-foreclosure. And is every market different, or is it across the board? Hey, 3 months or more is typically when a mortgage company will say, listen, we're going to start the foreclosure process because you've missed 3 payments or more.
Right. Well, one of the challenges that I have with my designation is perception. And I think the best example would be, Burlington, what are the stores called? Burlington Coat Store or something like that?
Burlington Coat, factories.
Factory, right. So is there a possibility that someone looks at that and goes, oh man, they only sell coats there, I better not go in, right? Mm-hmm. You know that you go in there, they sell all types of clothes and everything else. And what happens is the CDPE became associated with short sales. It became synonymous because it's true. We primarily teach agents how to maneuver, negotiate, get through, list successfully, get a contract, and close a short sale. But at the heart of it, our title is Certified Distressed Property Expert. We have a new dynamic, a unique dynamic this time around that we didn't have in 2008. And that is that there is more equity in the market. I'm the first one to admit that there is more equity. Now, someone can be in foreclosure. Someone might not be able to afford it.
Yeah. So real quick, there is more equity in the market. Let's just keep it really simple. Let's say the average, home price across America, I don't know that, but let's call it $350,000. Back in 2008, they might owe $350, but their house was only worth $300. They had no equity. But what you're saying is today more people have equity because of the appreciation that we've seen over the last several years, where they might owe $350, but their home is worth $425. So they have $75,000 in equity. They might not be able to make payments, but they have equity.
Exactly. And so the worst thing that they can do is let the bank foreclose on them. So what they should do, and this is the primary mission of a CDPE, is to help someone stay in their home. I teach agents how to engage individuals that are going through this with the intention of seeing that they can do everything they can to help them stay in the home. Now, what income do you make? Do I profit? Nothing. But what rewards you get everything. Now, sadly, a lot of folks
Great
wait too
point,
long.
by the way. But
Thank you.
first off, those of you, that's a golden nugget. So you're differentiating yourself. You are a real estate advisor, a consultant. Salespeople want the sale, they want the listing, they want, hey, yeah, let me list it. No, a consultant and advisor ask questions, they figure out, Tony and his family, they want to stay in this house, they have equity. Let's figure out a solution to make that happen. That's what a consultant, that's what an advisor does, and that's what we teach with our designation. Is differentiate by customer service, right? I call it silver platter service. If you bring more value to the table, Tony,
Absolutely.
and you help that person stay in that house, guess what? You're more likely to get referrals. And so when they do need to buy or sell, you're the first phone call.
I completely agree, and that I call us advocates. We are foreclosure prevention advocates. We want to see if it's possible, maybe not probable, possible that you can stay in your home. Sadly, so many people, by the time they get to even reach out to an agent or an agent reaches out to them, it's gone past the point of no return.
Sure.
So now, if they have to leave, this is how simple it is. Help them exit with dignity. There's zero dignity and being escorted to the curb by the sheriff. If you have equity, a real estate agent can help you through a regular sale. But if they don't have equity, my CDPs are trained on how to do a short sale. And look, you know what is simple? A short sale is when the property cannot be sold for enough to cover mortgage one, maybe mortgage two, maybe association dues that are past due, other liens against the property, closing costs, professional fees for the agent. When there's not enough, when the market says there's no way this property can be sold for enough to make everyone whole, that is a potential short sale.
And so when you have a short sale, potential short sale, there's nothing guaranteed. From my experience, a decade ago, doing a lot of short sales, I had a business partner that really taught this, and his name is Mike Cuevas. He's still in the industry, and so when somebody was in a short sale situation, if they had a hardship, i.e., change in job, a divorce, health, medical, something, they had a hardship that helped explain why they couldn't keep up with payments, they had a higher probability of the bank either forgiving the shortness or working on a payment plan versus foreclosing on the property and saying you're going to owe us that down the road. Is that correct?
Yes, it's very correct. See, one myth out there is that the banks want to foreclose, and that's absolutely false. These servicers, they're just simply there to collect the contractual obligation that every homeowner buyer signs to. But to stay in the home, you have to show that you have sufficient income to meet the obligation. And this is the part that's the biggest unknown. We don't know what the future is going to bring. People will say, but we're in a healthy job market right now. As we speak, maybe, yes, that is the case. Now, if we go into a recession, a lot of folks believe that we're already in a recession. It's just not been officially declared.
Well, that's because the government redefined recession.
They're attempting
a whole other topic.
That's a whole other topic. But what happens is we've already seen within our industry, Michael, we've seen layoffs in a major way, especially when it comes to mortgage companies. Even some real estate companies are already, letting go of the workforce. We don't know how big that's going to go. Look, here's the reality. Be prepared. Why not? Just like luxury is a niche, working distressed properties is a niche. It's not for everyone. You do have to have a heart to serve. There are easier ways to make money in real estate than going out there and helping people with these types of properties. But I would propose the following. We have way too many real estate agents in the business. Right now, as we speak, we probably have 1.5, 1.6 million realtors, not including all the ones that are licensed and are not realtors.
Correct.
We have more realtors than we have properties on the market for sale. There will be a purge. We're seeing it happen. I, as a broker, when the renewals were due for the board, we had to shed about 30 agents ourselves that could not afford to make the board dues. Why not equip yourself with an area of expertise, a specialty that can help you not only help individuals, but grow your business? Because distressed properties are the low-hanging fruit. Most agents avoid it like the plague. And this is their opportunity to go ahead and step in.
Yeah, you want to differentiate yourself. I tell agents all the time, you want to be a specialist, right? Then our course is luxury specialist versus generalist. However, you do want to diversify, whether that be a team member, somebody on your team or your office that's the distressed property expert. They go through your course, they get the designation, they're the go-to person. So when maybe if one agent or team leader has no interest in distress, we'll have somebody go through the course, have that be the designated person. So when you go on a listing appointment, you say, here are the different divisions or the different services we offer. Just like my friend Judy Lador said, having a strong luxury division, be smart to be ahead of the curve, go to where the ball is going, not to where it is, and have a distressed division as well. So on the screen here, you're going to see me. I have your website up, cdpe.com, CDPE, Certified Distressed Property Expert.com. That's more information on your course. People can take it virtually on demand.
Yes, that's coming soon. Right now, there's two formats. There is a Zoom format, that's spread out over 5 2-hour sessions. But starting very, very soon, we will be on demand. And we've now gone back to teaching live. A little bit earlier, you mentioned a company, some people may have heard of them, called RE/MAX. We're honored that just recently RE/MAX has endorsed the CDPE. And this is an amazing thing for us, because in 2009, when they endorsed the CDPE, it changed everything. And we see the same thing happening again. So we're brand agnostic. We work with everyone. I'm bringing trainers along to go ahead and start helping with demand for the live courses. But yes, we'll be able to teach at local offices. We'll be able to teach at associations. And of course, they'll have it available on demand.
That's awesome. We got some people chiming in. Susan, hey, good morning, Susan. Susan missed our live streams recently, so it's great. Thanks for joining us, Susan. And I have a comment from Renita. She's a CDPE OG. All right. Thanks, Renita, for your comment. I'm sure Tony's excited to hear that as well. So they can find out more information about where maybe live upcoming trainings are going to be.
Yes, everything is on that.
By going
and can I address, Michael, quickly about the OGs? A lot of OGs, almost every day someone reaches out to me and goes, I think I was a CDP. I was a CDP. Do I have to take the course over again? And I go, absolutely not. Through the end of the year, I'm trying to keep it as long as possible. OGs could come back into the fold for $99. That's what the yearly renewal fee always was. I've extended that to everyone.
Wow.
The course is optional for those individuals. So I would say that all OGs out there, you may be a former CDP. We need to make you a current CDP. That's critical.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, for those that are wanting to start from scratch, would you mind if I gave them a discount because of you?
Please.
So here's the thing. My course sells for $4.99.
Okay.
And in your honor, Michael, let them use a coupon code called SAVE, SAVE, SAVE 100, SAVE 100. And I'll bring the course down by $100 for them.
Oh, that's great.
And that course, that fee also includes the first year. It also includes the first year. So
use the promo code SAVE100. I have it on the screen right now. SAVE100. Again, go to cdpe.com, CDPE, Certified Distressed Property Expert.com, cdpe.com, and use the promo code SAVE100. Knock $100 off for our audience today. I greatly appreciate that, Tony.
Oh, my pleasure, my friend. And look, I don't know how much more time we have, but I know you have other things to talk about. But you know that I'm here for you. I love what you do. We're kindred spirits, both being in the business at the same time, having a designation that we are immensely proud of. I love how you and I are working together. And I think a lot of great things are in store.
Well, I appreciate that, Tony. Thank you for all you're doing for the industry. Tony Martinez, CDPE.com, along with Xtreme International Realty. And so, Tony, thank you. What's the best, if somebody listening wants to reach out to you, what's the best email address, best way to do that?
Yeah, thank you so much. How about support@cdpe.com? support
at cdpe.com.
Yeah, that's where an OG can say, look me up, help me out, all of the above.
Oh, that's
But,
great.
we have operators standing by to go ahead and respond immediately. We pride ourselves on getting back to folks immediately because people are sensing the shift and they want to get ahead of it.
Yeah.
They
Well,
want to.
the old don't go to where the ball is, go to where it's going. I coach football, defensive guy. It's like, hey, pursuit. When you're going after that ball carrier, don't go to the angle where he is. You got to go to where he's going and meet him there. Same thing with the market. So some really good, valuable information. Stick around. I'll talk to you offline here in a minute, but let me close up shop here, Tony.
Okay.
Again, my name is Michael Lafito. I hope this has been very valuable to you. Tony talked about how he launched a luxury division and what went into that. And then we also talked about distressed properties and how we think they're going to be on the rise based on inflation and people overpaying for homes and all that. So it's really important for you to differentiate yourself as a realtor, a team leader, a broker owner. So I hope this has been valuable to you. And don't forget, if you guys have a topic you want us to cover, if you have a guest that you think would be an amazing guest, please let me know and we'd be happy to bring them on. And again, if you guys are getting value from this podcast, leave us a like, leave us a comment, leave us a 5-star review at Luxury Listing Specialist, excuse me, on iTunes or Spotify, Stitcher. We could always use more reviews. Same thing with our book. It's on Amazon. Again, I'm your host, Michael Lafito. Until next time, keep raising the bar in the industry. Turn off the news. By the way, the news wants to divide you. They want to label you, want to label me. They don't want to unify. Okay. So again, make people's day. Turn off the news. Remember, I say garbage in, garbage stays. What you focus on expands. Tony talked about it earlier. You hang out with 5 dead broke people, you're bound to be the 5th. You hang out with 4 overachievers, you're bound to be the 5th. You hang out with 4 top producing real estate agents, you're bound to be the 5th. You hang out with 4 good neighbors, you're bound to be the 5th. That's my message for today. That's how I want to leave it. Prove others wrong. My name is Michael Lafito. Until next time, you're listening to another episode of Luxury Listing Specialist Podcast. Take care, everybody.